to the TokyoBill weekly update. Recent stories around Japan of interest to me, TokyoBill. Today is January 10th, 2026. Japan's defense ministry reported that North Korea launched at least 2 ballistic missiles Sunday morning from its west coast, with one missile flying about 900 kilometers and another about 950 kilometers, both reaching altitudes of about 50 kilometers. This marks the first missile test from North Korea since November 7th. The missiles appear to fall outside Japan's exclusive economic zone, causing no reported damage. Defense Minister Shinjiro Koizumi stated that these launches violate UN Security Council resolutions and threaten public safety. The Japanese government lodged a strong protest with North Korea and will collaborate closely with the United States and South Korea for monitoring and information gathering. The Japanese government plans to allow about 426,000 foreign workers over 2 years, starting in fiscal 2027, to address labor shortages. Over the past 10 years, the number of Japanese in their 20s decreased from 12.5 to 11.5 million, while foreign residents in their 20s rose by 680,000 to 1.2 million. Foreign residents in their 20s in Japan reached 9.5% in 2025, playing a key role in supporting the country's social welfare due to the declining indigenous youth population. Gunma Prefecture has the highest percentage of foreign residents in this age group at 14%, with Gifu and Ibaraki also above 10%. Foreign residents comprise 3% of Japan's overall population, with the largest groups from China and Vietnam. Poor oral health in older adults has been linked to higher death rates and a greater need for long-term care, according to studies from Osaka Metropolitan University and the Institute of Science Tokyo. One study involving over 190,000 residents aged 75 and older showed that those with healthy or treated teeth had lower mortality rates. People with no teeth had a mortality risk 1.7 times higher than those with 21 or more teeth. Another study defined oral frailty and found that those with it had a 23% increased risk of long-term care and a 34% increased risk of mortality. The studies stressed the importance of regular dental care and developing better policies for oral health. The use of paper straws is being re-examined, with alternatives made from other materials being considered. McDonald's Japan has ceased using paper straws for cold drinks, opting for strawless lids made from recycled plastic. This decision follows negative feedback about paper straws, which were criticized for their absorbency and effect on flavors. Starbucks Japan is moving to biomass-based plastic straws, while Moss Food Services has rejected paper straws due to texture complaints. Global movements against plastic waste and Japanese laws aimed at reducing plastic use led to the introduction of paper straws by fast food chains in 2020, but Japanese consumers still don't seem ready to use them when taking up their favorite drinks. In the wake of the United States action against Venezuela, Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi announced on X that Japan would advance diplomatic efforts to stabilize the situation. While the legitimacy of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's government is in question, Takaichi did not express support or criticism of the U.S. actions. Japan has previously emphasized the need for democratic restoration in Venezuela and condemned the lack of democratic legitimacy following allegations of election fraud. Japan's foreign ministry reiterated the importance of international law without directly criticizing the United States. Venezuela has little impact on Japan's national interests, but criticism of the U.S. attack has emerged from both ruling and opposition parties, with political leaders expressing doubts about its legitimacy under international law. China has launched an anti-dumping investigation into a key chip-making material imported from Japan, essential in the production of microchips. This follows tensions over Japan's comments on Taiwan and new export controls announced by Beijing. The probe, which may take up to a year or longer, is part of escalating disputes between the two countries. Despite demonstrated commercial use of rare earth metals, such as in the automotive industry, China has voiced concerns about their application in Japanese defense industries. Japan, heavily dependent on China for such metals, has protested China's export restrictions. Officials have criticized China's measures as unfair targeting of their country and deviating from international norms. With over 800 items on China's list of dual-use restricted items, Japan has concerns about the impact on its economy. In the Asahi Shimbun newspaper this week, foreign-born children in Japan face significant educational challenges due to lack of residency status, despite fluency in Japanese and completion of compulsory education. They are often denied access to higher education and national health insurance, which affects their future opportunities. A noteworthy case highlights a girl from Africa who was denied vocational school admission because of her lack of a residence permit. While Japan provides compulsory education, higher education admissions vary by institution, often leading to rejections. Advocates call for humanitarian special permission to stay status to support these children in achieving their educational aspirations, with experts advocating for immigration reform to provide stable residency for well-integrated families. The University of Tsukuba will increase tuition for foreign students and raise student housing fees starting in April 2026 and for tuition in academic 2027. Housing fees will go up by a quarter to double current prices, with the smallest increase for single-person dormitories and the largest for short-stay lodgings. The hike is due to rising maintenance and utility costs. University President Kyosuke Nagata stated that inflation is causing significant deficits, making fee increases necessary. Visa support and language programs were also given as reasons for the price hikes. Regular international students will face an additional annual fee of 73,000 yen, while non-regular students will pay 36,000 yen on top of existing tuition. Mr. Nagata outlined his plan to maintain 80% dormitory occupancy rates and indicated that with more international students enrolling, more fee increases could happen in the future. The Tokyo Metropolitan Government is thinking about changing how they manage household waste to reduce it in the city. They released a report about future waste management plans, which includes the idea of charging for garbage collection in the 23 wards. Officials believe this would help reduce waste from residents and businesses and significantly lower waste projections. There is a need to reduce waste because Tokyo has little landfill space left, with only one major landfill expected to reach capacity in 50 to 60 years. In West Tokyo, areas with paid garbage collection have seen lower waste per person and better recycling rates. However, residents have generally criticized the government for spending on what they see as unnecessary projects, insisting that basic taxes should cover garbage collection expenses. Police in Tokyo have arrested 4 people for allegedly exchanging fake 10,000 yen commemorative coins at local banks. The silver coins were originally made to celebrate Emperor Showa's 60th anniversary. The 4 are suspected of exchanging 79 counterfeit coins in May and June in Tokyo. Hundreds of fake coins have been found at financial institutions across Japan since April of last year, all confirmed by the Japan Mint to be forged. Authorities believe the group of 4 used false identities to avoid detection, converting as many as 600 fake coins around the country into cash. The investigation is ongoing to determine how they obtained the counterfeit coins and spent the money. On Tuesday, X Corp Japan announced that accounts will be permanently frozen for creating or posting illegal content using the AI chatbot Grok, cooperating with police to take action. This follows reports of Grok being used to make non-consensual sexualized images of women and minors. In December, Grok added an edit image feature, leading users to alter celebrity images, often without consent. This has caused international backlash, including demands for urgent action from UK officials who labeled the situation as unacceptable. Despite warnings from Elon Musk that illegal content will have serious consequences, sexually explicit images continue to be posted. In a 24-hour period earlier this month, Grok generated around 6,700 suggestive images hourly. Killer whales of Japan are less well studied than those off of the west coasts of the United States and Canada. A recent study published in Marine Mammal Science has reclassified them into two ecotypes, resident and transient. While currently considered a single species, significant genetic and behavioral differences suggest they may be separate species. North Pacific orcas include three ecotypes: residents, who primarily eat fish, transients, who hunt mammals, and offshore orcas, known to hunt large sharks. The study analyzed the genomes of 25 orcas around Hokkaido, confirming the split between resident and transient types dating to the last ice age, and highlighting the greater genetic diversity of transients. Researchers emphasized the need to understand orca diets and behaviors for conservation efforts, particularly in areas heavily influenced by human activities. Those were some of the stories that got my attention this week. Links to the original articles are up at my website, theTokyoBill.com, where your visit would be a great support. I've been, and remain, Tokyo Bill. Thank you for listening, and take care.